Okay, okay, T. We're going to pick up where we left off at, and I don't know if you was able to get this version, or if you was able to uh, get the most recent thing that I did. Added the background um, confetti here. Sorry about that. The background confetti, and I put the elements in place, the party elements. You already had the logo, and I'm not sure if you was able to get that, but this is what I ended up putting together, and we're just gonna finish it off here. So since this is a party, and this is a Friday party, we're gonna keep this, but we're gonna add here. We're gonna add another text layer. We're gonna call this Friday, and this is in contrast. Okay, I don't know why that just did that. Okay, this would be the contrast here. So what we're gonna do here, and this is considered grouping, text grouping, right? And so you want to try to, we're going to do a cursive, right? So I don't know if you have this font. This is called Black Signature, and if you don't have Black Signature, then you may want to download it from the font. That's DAFONT.com, defont.com. But this is always a good contrasting grouping text, right? Cursive with something solid, or something solid with cursing. Cursive, and we'll kind of get a little more into detail about the benefits and value of grouping, and why you want to group certain text with other text. It is a science behind it, and we'll discuss that in later tutorials. But right now, this is what we're going to do, and what we're going to do here is we're going to make it neon. But as far as what color, I haven't decided yet. So it's either going to be orange or blue, depending on what pops. So when we're doing work, you always want to consider contrast. So contrast is always going to be what's a complementary color to contrast something with. Black and white is contrast, right? Of course, blue and orange is contrast. Green and red is contrast. So you always want to think of something in contrast manner. So typically this party probably would be blue, and this Friday would be orange. But let me see if we can just make this orange. Okay, so you'll see how orange is not helping it. Although orange is really nice, it's not helping it because the contrast is too close to the undercolor. So with that being said, we will probably just stick with blue. We had the blue neon lights, right? All right, so we'll just kind of work with this, because of course the blue will be the contrast to that. And now we're going to try to light it up, right? Because this party, and I may just even change that party. I don't know what's wrong with my After Effects. I was trying to get the After Effects going, but it just seems to not want to act right. But we'll try to load that up again. And I may actually, let me see if I have our pre-made party gold file. I might already have it. I'll check it in a second. In the meantime, we're going to continue to work on this Friday glow. So we got an outer glow, but we want to have an inner glow, and we'll make the inner glow something in that neighborhood. Let's put it on normal so we can see what we're working with. And okay, so we'll change the size. So we want like a little bitty, see how it's a little bevel in there? The choke tightens up the little bitty bevel. Hold on, I'm gonna cancel this. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna zoom it in. Okay, let's go back in there, and we're gonna put an outer glow. That outer glow is gonna be blue. Okay, then we'll do a inner glow. The inner glow is going to be blue. Somewhere in that neighborhood. And then let's take it, put it on normal so we can see what we're looking at. And let's size it. Okay, so here it is. Let's play around with the choke. Okay, let's adjust the size a little bit there. So the inside is right, but the outside is not now. So normally you'll want to use linear dodge, and but because linear dodge is not going to do its job properly, I'll explain to you in a second why. But normally I like to use linear dodge, because what linear dodge does is it acts like real light. Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna just hit okay for now. Linear dodge treats the glow as real light. See, it look good down here, but because it's acting like real light, if it's overlaid over something that's light, you're not going to see the effect as much as you would see it down there. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see here, we might just have to change. We could probably do it like this. If I don't want to change that party, we could probably just do the Friday like this. And then we can have the party. But usually we would have the subtitle or heading or whatever case overlapping the main theme. But since we're doing it like this and we're not having a lot of contrast, I'll kind of just squeeze it in there like that. And sometimes it may not be legible, like you can't read it. So what I'm gonna do here, instead of fussing with it, I'm just gonna see if we can find another font. And to find these fonts, you should have the folder here, 3D, and we'll find, let's find another font. This may be okay, right? Because I have the orangey blue. So let's just hit that. And let's just change this flash into, oh, sorry about that. That's the wrong, that is the wrong file. It should be this. Should be. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay. And now we're just going to change the text here. Double click that. Change this to party. And yesterday I showed you what to do if you didn't have the font, the correct font. Okay, so now after we change it, we have to hit save. And the smart object is updating. And then we go back to the original file and we see it here. So we're going to move this out of the way and go back to the, I don't know where all these come from. Sorry about that. I had lost. Where is the file? Okay, so we got this. So when you have this open, let me show you how to do it. After we make the changes here, you have to click the box so that you can be able to drag and drop the folder, right? So let's slide this to the right, left, and then let's drag this folder here, and then we will be dragging that party that we just created. We just dragged the party. Sorry about that. Let me undo that. All right. So once that text is overlaid here, don't forget to hold Control E to merge that down. Okay, let me undo this. This overlay had to go. Sheesh. All right, let's try it again. Control E. Okay, we merged it down, so now we could freely move it around. And this looked more partyish anyway. Look, it got a lot of other fun things happening inside the words. All right, so we can go ahead and delete this party, and now we'll have this. And this is much better. Okay, and now this is blocking it, so we'll kind of move these around now. And let's put this above the layers. Okay, this is better. And now we can actually have that orange now. So let's go and play around with the neon effect. Let's go here and let's just select the orange layer here, turn that to orange, and if we need to tweak it, we'll tweak it. Okay. Okay, so now since we overlaying, maybe a few other little tweaks that we can do. Okay, so I would change that now to probably something lighter. Hold on, something I need to do. I have to cut my PC off. My monitor, the color of my monitor changed after it's been sitting dormant for a while, so the colors of it change. When the colors of it change, I don't have my accurate colors. You're not going to have an issue. I'm just having that issue because I'm using my TV as a monitor. Okay, so all right, so we really want that hot. I want to make it look like it's really bright. So I'm gonna change the inside of that and maybe go a little darker here. So it's more legible. Excuse me. And let's see, spread it a little bit, open it up. Okay, so now we look like we got something going on here. Okay, now this really got a popping, you know, colorful type thing going on here. Let's open up this blue a little bit because it's starting to get a little dark back there. Okay, and so now we have all of the color, the animation, you know, all of that popping. Now let's put a audience back there, right? So to do that, and this is just background information, and then everything else is just text. So we're going to pick something party that represents party. Maybe I kind of like this image. You see this image right here? I like that, right? However, here, I like this, but we can't use this, but we can use this one. Here, let me copy this. We're going to make this image like this image, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and hit paste, and we're going to put this audience in there, and we're going to, of course, remove the background. We should just be able to hit remove background right there. All right, so we got them remove background, and oops, you know what, I don't like it. Undo, move, undo, remove background. So sometimes this don't do as good of a job, and if it mess up some removal, just use the wand. Sometimes it's not perfect. For some reason, the AI, it don't grasp everything. Okay, we're not gonna fuss about every single detail. Okay. All right. So so let's shrink this down. Let's put them. Let's say like right here. And we want to keep in mind that it's a party. Let's drag it under everybody, but right above the color layer, right? And okay, so to do that effect, hold on, we're gonna add some black to this. So we're gonna just paint. All right, so we just paint down here just to blend them in. All right, now we're going to go a layer under, right? To do that effect that we were just looking at, we're going to go a layer under, and we're going to let's put like a really bright blue, right? And kind of fade it so that you can see them, right? Okay, that's cool. That's really getting the party vibe going on right there. All right, and then after this is done, then we go a layer above, and this is going to be called the lens flare, because this effect that we see here, I'm gonna show you real quick. This effect is a lens glow. It's a glow. Is typically a lens flare. Here's another depiction of it. That is a glow. That's a lens flare right there. That glow. So to mimic that look, we have to put some light under. Then we have to put some light above it. So so to do that light above it, the lens flare, we'll go to linear dodge here, and we'll shrink down this. We can kind of pick like a slightly darker color, and then we'll hit it like that, and it have to be linear dodge, have to be there, and that is what's going to give us it's called the light spill. So the light spill, it's like it punches through, and the effect that it gives to the lens, like it's punching through, you see. And now we have that effect. Now you want to be careful not to do too much, right? So let me undo a few of them. Control Z. All right. If you do too much, you like the detail, you can kind of just fine tune, go back in there and kind of just. But basically, it's a light that wraps around the subject. You see, it's a light that wraps around the subject. Okay, and that gives it, you know, a really dynamic look. And then we can go in here if we really want to do some extra fun stuff. We can go in here into the folder and go into some lights, real lights, light material, lens flares, and we can put like let's put this in there, blow this up. And the same thing, when you're working with lights, you always want to try to use linear dodge. You can use like screen and different things like that. It depends on what you're trying to go for. But I like using linear dodge because linear dodge acts like it's tighter, and it really acts like real light. All right, I'm gonna change this a little bit. Adjust the levels, darken that. And the other cool thing about like when you use a lens flare is that if you take and you make another copy of that light, it's even brighter. So you see that's one, that's two. So that's like some intense light. Now on this one, we're not going to use the intense light. We just use it and put it somewhere else. You know, something like behind that head. So now when you look at the flyer now, it looked like it's going to be a live, fun, intense party. You see? And that's pretty good, right? Okay, so you might want to go in here and tighten some of this stuff up. Maybe instead of cleaning that up, maybe we just fade that out. It's a lot of different ways you can do things, right? You can just fade that out a little bit. And yeah, that's okay. That's good. Actually, here, let's do this. Okay, I just stacked it up. Hold Control E. Okay. All right, and that really should do it. We have the title. We have what it is, the party. That, okay, so now we're going to want to put the textural information. So the textural information is as important, if not even more important than the flyer, but you do want the flyer is kind of like the magazine cover, like the art inside the magazine cover, and then all of the textual stuff is added to it. All right. So I'm gonna check the files real quick, see what text belongs there, and then reach out to you for anything else. So I'm gonna pause this for a second. Okay, so what we have is we just have the date. So let's put the date down. And that date is October let's change the font class right here. So we're going to go to sans serif. Yeah, let me move that up. Sorry about that. Sans serif. And we'll pick a very simple, bold, readable, eligible font. October. Okay, where'd my font go? All right, I guess it went away. Let's try this again. Okay. October. So a lot of times when you have a lot of things going on in your flyer, things like that, now you want people to read something. So you want it to be extremely I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Is that right? October? October, yes. October. You want people to be able to read it without squinting, without because it's a lot of visual cues and visual information on there, right? And we're going to shrink this down. And let's start moving these up. I could have just selected the whole thing. Sorry about that. I didn't have to do each of them like that. But you want it to be, eligible. So because a lot of times your viewers is just going to look. They're going to glance at it real quick. What is it? Who's setting it? The Lou. What is it? It's a party. When is it? October. You see what I'm saying? And you want those parts to be fun, but then you want a lot of the most important information legible. And you do that by making sure that you pick the right fonts. So try to avoid getting fussy about the different type of fonts like that. Should I use that? Should I use that? You really kind of just want to default to just standard font, because all of the other work is already done. The look, the curve, the vibe, everything is already done. So now you want to simplify it. This is what makes flyers and magazines and things like that look professional, because you know when to use legible fonts and you know when to use fun fonts. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to really use a legible font for the fun part. This is the fun part. What is it? It's a party. You see what I'm saying? Who's it by? The Lou. The LU. But then everything else, should be business. You see. All right, we'll talk more about it in future tutorials. But so this is it here, October. We can probably, just to add a little bit more bite, add like a drop shadow. And now it's even more legible, and probably do it like dark blue. So we'll go to our blue and just really dark blue, so it can really blend in, be cohesive with the whole thing. It can be orange, but again, the white really just pops. The orange kind of will blend in a little too much, and that could actually add to the hardness of the reading. You know what I mean? So I would like to, and also white is actually a part of that color scheme too. So you want to use white on some things. And then you have here Las Locas. I don't know what that is, but I don't know if that's your street, but we'll keep the text the same. So I'll just copy that, hold control, drag it, and shrink it down, since that's not as important as the date. But I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna get back with you, and we're gonna add the time. So this is Las Logas, and of course the street. Now when we do the street here, let's go ahead and Las Logas, move that down, and we may change up some locations on a few things because we're still dealing with the DJs, the party guys. Okay, but for now we'll do the Las Logas, and then we'll do the date. So I'm gonna need to zoom in here. It's 315 East Sheridan, AVE. Oklahoma City. Okay. 73104. Okay, so now we have this. Double click that. So it's two ways I like to do this, right? We shrink this, we use the same font, and we shrink it. And sometimes it can be kind of clunky. If it gets clunky, you can actually change this font. Let's double click that. And let's choose something a little thinner. I don't know if that's too fancy. Try something else. We can actually use that, but let's see if there is a thinner version. No, there's no thinner version of that. So we want to stick close to the font that we already use, which is considered a sans serif. And I'm gonna break down the font name and the font's use. Try that. Okay. The kerning on that is pretty tight. So you see here, that's the kerning or the spacing, right? So let's just set that to 0. So now it's properly set up. Now, sometimes you want to use thinner fonts when there's more information there. So this is like main information, like Las Logas. That's, I guess, the city, or I don't know what that is, but it seemed important, right? So we want to make that bigger. But then other things we may need, other information we may, I'm gonna probably put this up here for now, just for now. And then we'll put this here. And then we'll put the Las Logas right there. And also to keep the theme, the color theme going, now we could probably change that color to like the orange, or one of the oranges in here. And again, we want to keep it like a little bright and legible. I want to be able to read it. Okay. Something like that. Then it's of course going to be other information like how much it costs, if there's a fee, the location. And as far as stuff like this, you can either put them behind the text, or some other little things that you can do. You want everything to be readable, like everything. You don't want nothing. You never ever want anything to not be readable. So with that being said, we got a lot of contrast. There's a conflicting contrast right here. So you can kind of just fade it like that. You see how we can read it. So that's very important. Just keep that in mind. On everything readable, everything legible. And now if you look at the overall flyer, you have the event. Everything is readable. It looks like it's going to be fun. The date is clear as day. and the other supplementary information. Now, depending on how much more information we have or how much more information we need is going to determine where we're going to put it. So I'm going to send this over to you, and then I'm going to call you, and we're going to get the rest of the information, the DJ name, a few other things like that, and then this will be a done deal for this one, and then we can move on to the next one.